Hey, so I'm here. I am back to review Last Chance U Basketball Season 2. If you don't know, I did review the first season, so if you want to go back and watch all the episodes for that, do. Couple things I want to say before I get started. Number one, I apologize for my puppy. My puppy 9 times out of 10 will be, let's just show him because he wants to. This is my puppy. This is my puppy. And he's going to be in this video a lot because he doesn't know how to sit down. Okay? Sit down. Sit your ass down, Jax. Also, number two, because I have a new phone, that's what I'm recording on. I guess the new phones don't have like jacks anymore. So where I would normally like plug in my microphone, I can't do that. So I have to buy a wireless. So I will do my best to project. But the reason why the audio isn't the best in this video is because I have a new phone and it doesn't allow me to plug anything in. I have to have a wireless. Hold on. Okay. So, and this is Jax. He's obviously going to be part of this video some way, somehow. Don't know. Don't care. Anyway, so, episode 1. Episode 1, okay? We are back. We are back at ELAC, y'all. I was so Let me tell y'all, I didn't even know that the new season was starting until, you know how you just be sitting there with Netflix and they just kind of like be playing like the stuff, like, you know, just like when your TV's just kind of like idle. And then it was like, Last Chance U, come in January, I don't know, December something. And I was like, that's in 2 days. Super, super excited. I absolutely, truly loved last season. Look at my puppy. He loves to fight. I absolutely loved Last Chance U last season. Go up for Mosley. I stan Deshaun and Kiera. I stan KJ, okay? All of these people. I think, let me see, who I follow. I follow Deshaun, Kiera, KJ. I think those are the only people that I follow on Instagram. Everybody else, I don't think I really follow. Oh, and Joe. And I follow Joe. So, I'm like, let's go. So, let's get into it. I'm going to be real. I was hoping I can do, like do them 2 a pop because there's 8 episodes. So, episode 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7. I don't know because I run my mouth a lot and I take a lot of notes. So, like, we'll just see how this goes. It might go that way. Probably not for the first episode, but let's get into it. So, get to my notes. So, episode 1. Okay, so we start off like we normally do. You know, we seeing the new characters. We seeing the new faces, okay? And all of them are talking about, you know, how important the game of basketball is to them, how it's therapy, how it's changed their life, and all of that good stuff. And then we got my guy, Coach Mosley. I go up for Coach Mosley. I really, really do. Especially, I think he is so different. Especially if you compare him to like the coaches from Last Chance U, you know, like the regular one football. He's so different. It might be because he's a black man and where he from, but I love Coach Mosley. Loves everything that he does. You know, he talked about, you know, him wanting to get, you know, the kids as he normally do. He wants to get them the hell up out of here and get them to the next level. Now, I will say this. This is no shade. The intro pic or whatever, you know how like to do a little intro pic and I think they was all standing in front of like a Sprinter van or something like that. That was cool. That was cool. However, karma, I'm not going to hold you. Seasons 1, when that intro, that pic is so hard of all of them in the locker room sitting on a chair, dope. But I also like y'all too. What I'm not gonna do, like this probably gonna be the only time I'm gonna kind of really compare last season to this season. I will compare them, but only on like mostly the way like Mosley acts and like just the difference between like the way that the team kind of functions, but not in a show type of way. That's the only comparison I'm gonna make. Other than that, let's go. So we back. Welcome the fuck back to ELAC, East Los Angeles. Yeah, East Los Angeles Community College, okay? So, we start off with here, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Remember when Mace, if you old enough, remember when Mace had took that break and then he came back and he had did the sample to welcome back because he was coming back into the rap game? That's all I think of. Anyway, so we got Coach Rob, my guy. I don't even know who I like more, Coach Mosley or Rob. I think I like them just the same amount. I love Coach Rob. I think he's like amazing. I think he's so amazing. But, you know, kind of like he did last season, you know, he's getting everybody's lockers ready and stuff. And he got a locker this time. So, we start off August 21st, 2001. So, last year, August 21st, okay? And it is the first day of practice. Now, I like this because last season, and like I said, I'm gonna compare it, but only because of like kind of where we are. Please don't pay attention to my baby. He's like insane. Last season when we got to ELAC, we was kind of already a little bit into the season. Like we didn't get to see the first day of practice because remember we found out from Joe that he got arrested, I think like the first day of practice, something like this. So I appreciated seeing the first day of practice, okay? So one of the first people that we meet is Shamar. Now, Coach Raw comes on the floor and he's like saying to Coach Mosley, he was like, "Did you see this guy right here? Like, did you see him? Like Shamar or whatever." He's like, we're gonna have to take him. So they pretty much tell him like, you need to fill out some paperwork, and we'll get to the individual players and we'll get to them. But I'm just going in order of the show right now. So it's been about 16 to 18 months since Mosley, really coached due to the pandemic, and then they show a flashback. We all saw, how that season ended like heartbreakingly, okay? Heartbreaking of that 2020 season. How fucking terrible was that, okay? That they didn't get to do it because of COVID. And also Coach Ken is back. That's my guy too. So one thing that this really helped me get more detail about, because by the time COVID hit and stuff like that, I've been out of school. Okay, so I graduated college, like from my undergrad in 2016. I graduated with my master's. I started my master's at the end of 2019. So by the time COVID started, yeah, I was in school, but everything had went online. So I always wondered, how did COVID affect like everybody else? Like when COVID first happened, I felt bad for everybody that was a senior, whether you was in college or high school. I felt bad that a lot of people's stuff got messed up because of COVID, especially when it came to school. So I found this whole part interesting about everybody just talking about how COVID really affected everything that they had going on. So you got Brandon Wilson. Brandon Wilson talked about how COVID, pretty much he had a scholarship, but once COVID hit, of course, a lot of people was pushed back. And so then because you got people that were supposed to start, but then didn't start, it kind of like pushes people. It pushes you to the back of the line. So he pretty much lost. Are you serious right now? He pretty much lost his scholarship. Then we have Demetrius. Demetrius said that he was just chilling at home. Honestly, he wasn't doing shit. And then he just decided, you want to know what? I'm going to go play ball. So that's what he did. Shamar said that he was outside being a hoodlum and acting a fool for 3 months. And then he decided, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm really too good at basketball for me to stop. Stop, boo, stop. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so then, hold on again. Sorry about that again. All right, I'm done now, y'all. So yeah, so Shamar was outside for 3 months acting a fool. He came back, went back to hooping. Now, before we get into everybody else. So then Shamar pretty much was talking about his relationship with Mosley and how to him, Mosley is a complete daggone demon. He said, I really thought he was a demon. I thought he was like the meanest person in the whole wide world. And then we go to Brian Penn Johnson. All I got is that he's tall AF. He's just super tall. We'll get more into him later. And then we have Damani. Damani talks about how his dad had got sick with COVID and he was like really, really concerned. So he had flew out to LA to pretty much, I don't remember where Damani is from, but he flew out to LA to pretty much like help his dad, and he decided just to stay. Okay. So let's get a little bit more into the show. So Coach Mosley is in his office and Coach Rob is like, yeah, like it's kind of messed up because we already got a whole bunch of kids that can't start. And he was like who? And he was like, Damani. So apparently Damani went to the ER because he was having like a real hard time like breathing and his chest was super, super tight. Come to find out when they did, I think it's an EKG, that he has an enlarged heart. So because he had an enlarged heart, and I guess they didn't catch that maybe when he was younger or something like that, until they figure out all what's going on, he cannot play. So that just kind of took Damani completely out of the writing. And when they was talking to Damani, he was honest and said, that like his chest was like really, really tight. Let me say this. If I go off like first impressions, like just first impressions of some of these people, like so far, I kind of like Damani the most. And this is just all off of first episode, nothing else. I don't know. He just seems like he has like a really, really nice, sweet spirit. Like it's something about him that's super, super nice, and he just seems like a really nice kid. He does. He seems like a really nice kid. So yeah, so then I do have here that they showed a billboard for like ELAC and how Joe was on it. I said y'all better use Netflix for marketing. I know that's right. So then Mosley, talked about I wish Mosley would have talked about this a little bit more. Maybe he will, I don't know. But he talked about how I guess after the show, like how he was getting all of these emails from all these people like, you can save my life, like you're the one for me. And he's just like, bro, like I'm just out here trying to coach. But when you have all of these people, I mean, to be quite honest, you were very inspiring last season, Mosley. So yeah, you go and get that. But he pretty much was just saying how it's like a lot of pressure. A lot of people's coming to him and just being like, I need you, you're the guy for me, I want you to change my life. And it's just kind of a lot. And I will say that I loved his way of looking at it and the way that he took it in versus, and I'm not trying to say one's is better than the other, but if we go to season 2, no, technically it would be season 4. So the second season of if we go to Last Chance U, the football version. Damn it, what was his JB? There we go. The second season of JB, when he came back, and it was like kind of like the after effect of, him being on Last Chance U and him talking about all these people know him, and like Charlie Wilson has sent him some stuff. Like he was really basking in it, like, yes, I'm that guy. But Coach Mosley's thing is more so like, now I feel even worse because more people want my help and I can't help them. But it's not on you, Coach Mosley. It is not. So, Coach Raw pretty much says, that there's at least that this year they have like a super, super stacked team. And if it wasn't for COVID, at least 20 of these guys can start for like a pro team. 10 of them for sure would be out of D1. It's just kind of, how COVID played out and everything. So now we are, I believe, going through the kids. I believe, because this is when they do their little photo shoot. Okay, so first person we got is Desmond Washington. Now, I want to say this, and this is with all due respect, because I am literally probably, well, I don't know. I'm not 10 years older than him because he was already in school. So I'm probably like 6 or 7 years older than him. So I got to be real careful on how I talk about these kids, because to me, they're grown men, but they're not grown men at the same time. They're still younger than me because I'm 27, right? So, but I will like to say, with all due respect, Desmond Washington is very, very much so an attractive young man. I can get why he got a son so young. I get it, okay? He's a very, very handsome looking young man. But anyway, he has a son, and so people talk about how his motivation is now a whole lot different than maybe a whole lot of other people, and how he pretty much has to really, they're expecting him to step up to be the leader, which I will get into a little bit more later as to why they want him to do that. Then, like I said, we have Brian Penn. Wait, I want to make sure I got his name right. I don't want to say it right. Brian Penn Johnson, okay? And he actually came from LSU, which we're like, what? So he played LSU for 2 months, and the reason why he is back, while he is no longer at LSU, is because he failed like a math final, which I find interesting because I'm like, damn, like that. To be clear, a lot of times in college, your grade really can hinder off of one test, one paper. So like, yeah, I feel bad, but he was playing at LSU for 2 months. And he came here. So far, it seems like his attitude is pretty good about being there. He said that, he's not like disappointed in himself. He don't think that nobody's gonna love him if he don't play. He don't think that he's worthless if he don't play. He's just gonna take the opportunity and make the best of it. Which so far is the best attitude I've ever heard out of anybody on all of the Last Chance U's, both football and basketball. Is somebody walking in pretty much saying that, like, yes, I love basketball, yes, it's my everything, but I do know that even if I don't do it, I'm still loved, I'm still appreciated, I'm still wanted. Because a lot of people don't feel like without those athletic abilities, nobody's gonna give a fuck about them. So shout out to his mama, shout out to whoever raised him for like instilling that in him, that like, yes, you're great at this, but even if you decide you don't want to be, we still love you and you can still do a lot. So I appreciated that part of him. Shamar, they talk about how he is pro level talented. He is 19 years old. The baby boy ain't got no diploma, and he ain't got nowhere to live. Now, we need to touch on this part, because Coach Rob said every other week he finding somewhere else to live. So you trying to tell me this young man don't got nowhere to live? Like, he ain't got nowhere to stay. And remember, this is community college. They ain't giving you no dorms, nothing like that. I need to understand more about what do you mean he doesn't know where he's going to live the next day. we need to have a conversation about that, because I don't like that at all, okay? But, you know, they pretty much talk about, like, how dominant Shamar is, how he's, like, a great, great, great player. And then we have Demetrius. Demetrius, aka, I think his name, is it D? No, his dad's is Desmond. We're just gonna call him D, okay? Until I go to the next episode and see what his nickname is again. But we got Demetrius. Now, his daddy played for the NBA. Now, once he said that, it made more sense to me when he said earlier, well, I was just chilling at home. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, I guess we were all just chilling at home, but what his intro was compared to all of the other players was so different. He was just like, I was just chilling at home, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll play basketball. Got it, because your dad's in the NBA. But they talk about how he's, like, really flashy. He's real cocky, you could tell. But they also say he's extremely, extremely delusional, which is actually hilarious, too. Like, he's just super delusional. And so Coach Rob pretty much rounds that the whole situation out with the players, saying that, like, 5 of these kids will never suit up. They'll be right here on the bench with me. And we talked about that last season, about how, you know, some kids come into it and it's hard for them because, and they talk about it, I think, a little bit maybe in this episode, about how you go from being the starter or the best person at your school, then you get amongst real top niggas and you just like, oh, well, this is fucking different. Move. So, that. So, we got 3 weeks until the first game. Now, we see them in practice, and Mosley is just so tired of no effort at all. Y'all know how he feels. He feels like you need to be diving on the court. You need to be in, and you need to be giving it your all. He made a good point. He was like, y'all don't realize that one play can grant you your scholarship. Like, one play. And I do actually believe that, because highlights are a real thing. If you was to have a crazy ass highlight, that is enough to get somebody's attention at the bare minimum, which can lead to you getting a scholarship. So, yes, he is correct. One play can get you the hell up out of there. For real, for real. So, I also love how he was like, you mother, because he was talking to Demetrius, and he was like, you talking to me? He was like, of course I'm talking to you. He said, I'm so tired of all of you. You mother, he didn't say this, but I'm saying this. You motherfuckers think that y'all got all the options in the world. Y'all got one option, that's me. I got 17 other options, which is, y'all ain't got no choice but to do what I say, because y'all here in my school. Me, I got all the y'all that I can pick from to play. So keep playing games. Keep playing games, not showing up the way that you're supposed to. Got you, Coach Mosley. So, Demetrius just keep running his mouth, and everybody around him is like, what is going on? And even Coach Mosley is saying to Coach Rob and Coach Ken, like, what the hell is going on with this man? Coach Rob was like, Coach Rob and Coach Ken said, because he don't get it, and y'all better than me, because I would have beat that man's ass a long time ago. When they said I would have beat his ass a long time ago, I started crying. But the point of the matter is that you doing what you're doing, you're affecting the team. You're affecting the team by, like, y'all know how Mosley get down. If one of y'all mess up, he'll tell the person that messed up to not do anything and make the rest of y'all run. So when you're running your mouth and you're causing the rest of us to have to pay for your nonsense, yes, I'm probably gonna have to fight you. So then at this point, once he said something about, like, I need a leader to step up, but ain't nobody stepping up, putting people in their place, then you see people starting to jump up a little bit. And that's why Coach Mosley was like, okay, now we got fake leadership. Like, now that I'm saying something, now y'all all want to step up and try to say something to him. So Demetrius almost get into it with somebody that that somebody else that's on the team. And, like, they kind of pretty much sick of him, telling him to shut the fuck up. And that's just kind of that. So Demetrius, obviously, he's like, I don't know, it seems like he just kind of plays around a lot. He don't take stuff way too seriously. And that really could just be due to the fact that his dad was in the NBA. So I'm not going to say that they're probably, like, got all the money in the world. But he's probably financially okay. Real shit. There goes my other dog. Move. I can't with these dogs, y'all. I can't. So, then, let me see what else we have here. He threw me completely up, okay? So then, they talk about how Mosley is just like being super, hold on, y'all. I had to yell at my dogs, I'm sorry. So, they talk about, I think they went to the track field or whatever, right? And they talk about how Mosley's like really on one this season, and how he's like, he really won't let the fuck up on these kids. But the reason why is because they have the toughest preseason that they've ever had. The first 3 teams that they're playing the best 3 teams in the state back to back. And I think he said all 3 of these teams have won championships within the past 10 years. So it's like, yeah, y'all about to go through a gauntlet, okay? So then we move over for a really quick second and we go to the City College of San Francisco. Talk about how they won 3 titles in the last 10 years, which is pretty damn amazing, and how they run a fast motion offense. And just how the coach there is pretty excited to play ELAC because they're a good program. And so Mosley was like, yeah, so because we're playing them, it's no longer a learning curve. It is a learning line. Like, we don't got time for none of this. We don't have time for me to hold hands and bullshit and do this and do that. We got 0 time for that, okay? So, let's see. We talked about Brian and what happened with him. I must have jumped the gun on that. That's fine. I did notice how Coach Rob said a lot of different times throughout this episode how he was like, he was talking to the guys and he was like, I know you wanted to do it this. I know you want to do it this way. And I know it may work this way, but you have to do it his way. Like, do you not get what I'm saying? Like, you could do it and it could be right. But if it's not in the way that Mosley wants it, it's a chop and it don't matter. And that's something that I have realized a lot with like watching Last Chance U. Even if I go all the way back to like the first season, with Buddy and his assistant or whatever. I cannot think of his assistant's coach name, but I love that assistant coach. But he used to say all the daggone time, like, I know, I get what y'all saying, but I'm not the one running the program. Like, if I was the one running the program, I wouldn't care if y'all did this. I wouldn't care if y'all did that. But at the end of the day, it's not my program to run. And I feel like that's pretty much the same sentiment that Coach Rob was saying. Is like, I don't care if you do it that way as long as the ball go in the damn basket. But he wants it done a certain way because it's his team. So, gotta respect that. So, then they do a scrimmage, right? And they talk about how the scrimmage, you know, Mosley hates it, but it's necessary to pretty much see, like, this is when you really get to see who's playing hard, who really does what, how mentally and physically fit are these guys, who's going to step up and be a leader, who's going to take a step back. So they show that. There was a point in time where, I don't know, Brian was on one team and Des was on the opposite team, and I don't know, something happened, and Brian was like, I'm telling you, Des, you do it again, it's going to be a problem. Like, I could have you. And then Des was like, I don't care, do what you got to do. All right, when they threw that ball up and that whistle blew, Brian elbowed the shit out of Demetrius. I'm surprised his shit wasn't leaking. He, boop, just like that. He told you, get the fuck up out his way. He asked you nicely. So, I mean, he didn't cry and he didn't complain. So, respect to Demetrius for that. So, let's see. So then, yeah, we do that. And then they also talk about how, you know, Shamar, out of everybody, is literally the most talented player. And back to how we talk about how it's Coach Mosley's team, so he has to run it. Like, you got to do things his way. Coach Rob said it, and even Coach Mosley said, like, I don't care for him. Like, he's not the type of player that I want. Because for real, he probably don't listen a whole lot like that. He said, but he's too talented. He was like, Coach Rob was like, regardless of the situation, he's gonna play. Like, he's gonna play because he's too talented. As much as he don't fit the mold that Mosley would like him to fit on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I apologize for keep stopping. Like, my fucking puppy is doing the most. Sit your ass down. Sit down. He always trying to fucking fight somebody. And so, yeah. So that's kind of that. So, like I said, Shamar is gonna play, point blank, period. So then, you know, they talk about how they need someone to really step up as a leader. So as we all know, like last season, Deshaun was really the leader of the team. It was very clear. People respected him. Like, he took the leader position. It was just very obvious that Deshaun was the leader. He was the one who had everybody together. He would talk to people. He would tell people, calm down. Don't worry about this. Do what you got to do. But there is nobody that's doing that yet, okay? And so he meets with, he talks about pretty much how, you know, they lost the majority of their core returners, you know, just because of how much time has gone past. So the only person that they got that is a returner is Desmond. So back to what I was saying before. And that's why they want him to step up as a leader, because it's like, you're the one who actually knows this system. Nobody other than you knows this system. So they show some highlights from him last season, and really Desmond was used to like kind of cause chaos. If somebody was out there going to fuck off, he would be used to kind of cause chaos and stop the person from going off. So he said during the the pandemic, he worked on his speed, he worked on his handle so that he can be, used a lot. Coach Mosley says that Desmond is still he doesn't really want to grow up. Like, you could just tell he's like still very kiddie. Although he has a kid, he has grown up more, but he's still very kiddish, and like he has to like really grow up and stand the fuck up. One thing I will say that I respect about Mr. Desmond is he is one of the only people from Last Chance U, except Deshaun. Other than Deshaun, him and Deshaun, the only two people I ever heard say this in Last Chance U, is that he just hopes to either A, go to the G League, or B, go overseas. That is the second person I've heard say that they are cool with not going to the NBA, because we gotta really look at the odds of the situation. Not that it's impossible for you to get there, but you gotta start thinking about plan B and plan C in case plan A does not work. That's just facts of the matter. So I respect the hell out of him that he was like, I'm cool just playing in the G League or overseas. And to be quite honest, if he play overseas, he'll get a whole lot of money overseas. That's what most people don't realize. When you play ball overseas, you get money over there, okay? The G League is cool too. G League, you can, make your way to like the NBA sometimes. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen sometimes. So then we go to San Fran, okay? And Mosley feels completely unprepared because he doesn't know any of the new guys. He don't know how they'll play, any of that. So they go against Santa Rose the first time. Santa Rose, they won that game 73-58. What I got here on my notes is that Brian and Shamar went the fuck off. Brian's ability to like follow through and like catch his own daggone rebounds, catch everybody else rebounds, and follow through is amazing to me. Shamar, the type of shots that he was getting off, baby, the type of layups that, there was one layup that he wanted to go do. It was like, two defenders right here. He went on his side, rolled it up like that. His ass went underneath the damn basket all the way against the wall. That thing still went in. I said, go off, Shamar. Go the hell off, okay? Then they went against Yuba, and I got here in my notes, Brian was just dominating per usual, and they won 74-50. I do have also here in my notes that I love the fact that, although it was a long time ago, kids still watch Martin. Like, I love that. Like, they was in there watching Martin. I love that. I also love how Justin and Brandon talked about that they didn't feel winded at all because of how hard they practice. And that's why Mosley probably is going to use that clip and just always use it against his team forever. This is why I work y'all so hard, okay? So that when y'all get into the actual game, y'all have the stamina. He's saying, man, I thought I was tired, but I sat down and I was like, no, I'm good. Because you go harder in practice. That's the point. Conditioning your body. Let's hurry up because I ain't got much time left here. So then, we got game day. It's for the last game against the city of San Fran. And my faves, my fucking faves, Deshaun and Kiera show up. My faves. That's all I needed. I'm good for the rest of the season, okay? Brian ends up getting fouled, 2 fouls within the first 2 minutes, which is like insane. And what I will say about this game, the game was bullshit because the fouls that the ref was calling, full of shit. Y'all just didn't want y'all team to lose on Netflix, and it's fine because I've watched Last Chance U enough to know y'all refs be doing that sometimes. Y'all be colluding when the teams be there. Y'all be colluding. I think it was bullshit. How many times did they go to the damn foul line? Insane to me. Long story short, because of that, everybody started playing carelessly. Ain't nobody running after the ball. People was dropping. People was doing turnovers. Nobody cares. Like, it's obvious after a while, nobody cared on that team. At the end of the day, they lost 94-65. Embarrassing. Everybody was just embarrassed. But mostly said they got time to fix it. So I'm excited. Let's see what the rest of the season holds. Y'all tell me so far, who do y'all like the most? Who do y'all not like the most? What y'all think of this team so far? But I'll see y'all next episode. Bye.